rented property. And so you realize that a lot of families became single-parent families. And then you realize now that with boys being raised by single-parent families, then you realize that there's a sort of systematic and systemic effects and all that. So I think even with the People program, it has come at the right time, whereby as men, it doesn't matter if boys are coming from single-parent families, but for CMA, our mandate has now to be to mentor these young men and to be their fathers, so that we can try and break this cycle.
Yeah, and that's true, and I totally agree with you that maybe the reasoning of the Beijing was that it's a fight. The balance is a fight. Yet it's supposed to be a discussion. Let us sit down at the round table, discuss issues of both sides, and then let us meet. As opposed to you men, umetukalia sana. As opposed to, by the way, I think we need to compromise here and here so that we create a balance. Yeah, I agree with you. Now, Marianne, the Big Boys program was launched in 2017. Why was it necessary for the archdiocese to want to launch that program? Where did that come from?
Okay. The Catholic Church is very, very much oriented in terms of the family setup, in terms of family values, and it was an obvious thing that across the nation there was a crisis among the boy-child species, what they call it. And so we had a very visionary leader at that time, who is the emeritus, Cardinal Jue, who had actually requested for programs targeting men to be set up in the Archdiocese of Nairobi, and specifically among the CMA. And even though the CMA at the Archdiocese of Nairobi is quite strong and had begun to set up very strongly, he still felt that even though spiritually they were targeted and being formed, but then the men had other bigger issues affecting them at the social front, and so he wanted them to address socio-economic issues. And one of the profound questions that he asked at the time was, once we set or form this man spiritually, socially, and economically, he needs to leave a legacy. But with the way things are, men themselves not being very visible in church, and then the boy child was not anywhere in church, he posed a question and asked, where is tomorrow's church? And so when he asked that, we knew that he was really targeting the boy child, and we needed to do something. And that was actually the birth of the idea to target the boy child across the Archdiocese of Nairobi. But when we started the program, even though we were targeting the boys that we handled from the church, it became imperative that we needed to reach out to even the other boys in the society, because after all, once we are done shaping our own boys, who are they going to interact with? They're interacting with the rest of the society. So the ripple effect means that we target all boys so that this message goes across. So today we are having the program very strong in the Catholic Church, but working very closely with other churches.
Oh, okay. And just to shed more light on this particular program, what age group are we looking about? Are we looking at? And what background are we also looking at with the boys that we have brought together to plan our program?
Yeah, we have the age group of 9 to 17, but then because of other dimensions, we always group them into two, age 9 to 13, and then 14 to 17. And the boys that we are targeting are the boys amongst us, because at that point we don't want to segregate anyone. But we know that by dealing with the boys in the church or in the society, we have among them some very vulnerable children, children from the informal settlements, children from poor backgrounds, children who have gone through trauma, children who are coming from single parenthood and probably feel stigmatized or even left out in certain interventions. So all these are the boys that we want to handle within the Boy Child program. We do not register according to those categories. But we know that when we embrace all the boys, then it means that inside there, we are going to get those from poor backgrounds, those from single parenthood, those from, all sorts of vulnerabilities will be taken care of.
Are we also looking at religion? Is this program only meant for Catholic going children? Is it also meant for those within the Catholic things, or how are you reaching out? Where you've expanded your route up to where?
Yeah, like I said, we started it in the Archdiocese of Nairobi.
Yes.
As a program for the church.
Yes.
And that means Kiambu and Nairobi counties.
Yes.
But everywhere we start the program, we know that these boys we are starting with have friends who are not necessarily Catholic. So this program goes beyond religion, goes beyond the different faiths. We have even Muslims who are in the program, because it's really about building on the values of the society and even the faith, whether Muslim, Hindu, or whatever faith. The thing is that we all need a spiritual connection that makes us better people. So we do not just call for boys in the Catholic Church, rather across.
So for us, it's about empowering the community as a whole. Right, Mr. Anthony, I just want to dive right in because I have an audience here and allow them to contribute. What are the challenges of the Boy Child?
Thank you very much, Millicent. We definitely have been on the program now. I think this since 2018. We are looking at 5 years, besides the COVID challenge that actually almost sucked us in, but we were able to survive. There have been challenges because once in a while you find, let's talk about the societal challenges that we have in the society currently. You look out there and you find that our boys are engaged in so many social vices, such as drugs and substance abuse. There are all manners of criminalities that are in our neighborhoods. Again, we have our boys who are in families that are engulfed in social, social vices such as GBVs, domestic violences. And if you imagine that boy being in such kind of setups, they are very vulnerable to becoming, spoiled as they grow up. And those are the kind of things we're trying to save them from, over and above other social vices we can think about. So definitely that is what we're trying to make sure they don't turn into, or they grow up straight and they become better men tomorrow. Yes, thank you.
When you talk to a boy during your sessions, what comes out? At that one-on-one interaction with a boy, what is that common factor that comes out there? I mean, it's inside Kokonani, so it's coming out, and it's really a challenge, and maybe you can also say that it is common across the board. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that question. So one thing that is coming out, that there's that crisis of identity. So the boy child is finding himself in a space that he's trying to find out who I am, who am I, and part of it is because of the dysfunctionality we are talking about, where you have the models of good men are not there, in the sense that if it's a dysfunctional family, they have no idea what it means to be a man, what it means to be a good man. And then it doesn't help that the media and the trends nowadays are blurring the distinction between male and female, such that when it comes to spaces that were originally safe for men, like the barber shop, they're becoming unisex. So you go to a barber shop and you're not sure which side you're supposed to go to, and different like that. So we have to recover that. And say that one gender is better than the other. In fact, you are because I am. So for men to be men, women have to be women, and the other way around. And that is the beauty of life. That is the complementarity. And the solution to this is not to make us the same. You know, it's unfair for the boy child and it's unfair for the girl child. So we are trying to help the boy child to discover this, that they have no apologies to make for being who they are, and it's a beautiful thing to be a man, to be a boy, and we have ideas, that we have ways of doing things that are in keeping with us, and that has to be nurtured and celebrated, you know. And then where there is some deviation, we have to tell them this is not natural and this is not in keeping with who you are and what you're meant to be, you know, without necessarily looking down, trying to help the boy on the other gender or on the other people, to make for being. So I'll say that for me is one of the critical things that really comes out, and we will do a great service to society if we let boys be boys, meaning that they do the games they're supposed to do and they be themselves, where there's something pressure to be anything else. This is not natural, and this is not in keeping with who you are and what you're meant to be, you know, without necessarily looking down, trying to help the boys on the other gender or on the other people to make for being. I'll say that for me is one of the critical things that really comes out, and we will do a great service to society if we let boys be boys, meaning that they do the games they're supposed to do and they be themselves, where there's something pressure to be anything else. It's not natural, and this is not in keeping with who you are and what you're meant to be, you know, without necessarily.
You'll realize that some of it is actually caused by societal behavior. Like when he talks about a salon or a barber shop where both are visiting, well, clearly, you're either going for a hairdo or maybe a haircut. And the question is, at that point where the boy is going to the barber shop, it's because he intends to do something there, but then finds this other gender. And for some reason, I think we have embraced all these societal things where a boy plaiting hair doesn't bring any issue. And even for a lady, thank you, even for a lady cutting their hair, I mean, it's so normal. So whose failure is it here? Because if the parent is allowing their children to go through anything that they feel like, then I don't think we can blame the boys. So I think one of the things that the program is doing is trying to empower the parents themselves through fathers, because this is a two-pronged program which targets both the fathers and the sons. So by addressing these issues together, then the program is able to address that which is, like what JD is saying, about putting back things to order, to what they were supposed to be. And this is the beauty of the program having mentors. All these in the audience are mentors. So they have a personal responsibility to bring back things to order, and that comes through the forums that we have where we discuss issues, and then when we go back, we definitely talk to the boys and intentionally bring back change to those things that are not working.
Okay. Now back to you. You brought about one of the biggest challenges is the aspect of single parents. Now, who is a single parent?
So, thank you for the question. A single parent is not necessarily, when you talk of single parent, most people have that idea. Most people have that idea that it's a mother alone who's there. But of course, there are various circumstances of single parenthood. We have the widow or the widower, yeah? And so, you see, as he said, a man cannot be without the woman, and the woman cannot be without a man. So even in the instances where you have a widower having to take care of the boy alone, it becomes a challenge, because then the boy misses out that aspect. How do I treat women? I'll take, for example, from my case, I was raised by a single parent, but now it was my mother. And so I later realized that I had a challenge when it got to a point where I was meant to now look for a wife. Yeah. And, from my parents, I was like, my mother taught me that we should respect women. When a woman says no, it is no. So I go out there, I ask a woman, can you marry me? No, I leave. Yeah? No, I leave. So I stayed for quite a long time. I go to 33, and then there's one lady who's old, and she told me, that day she just decided to come up with a story, and we were seated somewhere, and she just started talking. So I think even it's the Holy Spirit which guided her. Because she was like, men of these days can't even, when you're told no, you run away. Instead of, at least, because if a woman can always say yes, 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 what kind of a woman is that? Yeah, a woman needs to say no a bit, and then you're like, please, no a bit. And then on the third one, okay, yes. You see, so without that kind of mentorship, then it means I would have ended up not, yeah, exactly. And so for us men, and that's why Caritas had to involve the CMA, because in CMA we believe in good family, good church, meaning that if I have my wife, I'm able to mentor this young man and say, this is how you need to move, because of course I've seen it working in my own family, and that's where now our values come from. Yes.
Thank you so much. So are you still at no?
No, these days when I'm told no, I say, I don't know. Yeah, so through mentorship I learned. So I thank God. Yeah, you insist. Yeah, even at home, I insist. Yes. Yes.
How are you addressing that?
And that's, you see, for what we do at Consolata, we ensure that as CMA, like we are very glad and thankful that even our moderator is a principal at Regis. Yeah? And being a principal, he has that experience of working with children. So even for him, he pushes this, and he's the one who even asked me to ensure that I am active in the mentorship, because he believes that if you are able to mentor these young men, and it's not about just mentoring alone. As CMA last month, we went to Kamulu, and we visited a children's home. So during that visit, we did a way of the cross around the children's home. And the young boys, you'd see young boys looking up at men and seeing how they are, going down to their knees and praying. And you see, that's how mentorship is done. If a young man can be able to identify with another man, praying, then it becomes easy for them to know that it's the importance of spirituality. Yes.
Thank you very much for the question. My name is Mbugwa. I'm an advocate of the High Court and a mentor to the boy child. I'm very proud to be involved in the program of mentoring boys. As a mentor, I need to walk this journey with these young men. I have realized that sometimes because of our social engagements, we do not have enough time for a boy child. I say this because, as an experience, I remember there was a time I used to wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, get to work by 7, leave the office by 5, go to class for an evening class until 8:30, connect home, get home around 10. I have to check their homework. I have to ensure we have done corrections. I have to sleep and do my assignments before I go to bed, and again rise up in the morning. And for quite some time, I didn't have time with my own son. I used to try and make it up on Sunday, and again, it was not enough because I needed to sleep enough, ready to start the week again. The minute and the moment I was done with my apostle, I dedicated my time to be with my son and, of course, my children, and to ensure that I try to train him and also make up for the time that was not there. And that has really changed my son. He has become a very responsible person. Everything I'm doing, especially at home, I involve him and I engage him. And out of that, I have taken another responsibility of mentoring about 52 boys as a class representative in one of the schools where my son is a student. And I've been able to work with these boys. Some of them come from single families, inner deeds that I might actually not even think that they have an impact, have actually had a very big impact on these boys. So mentorship is important. It is improving. And from an experience we had here yesterday, that even if we are going to convert one person, the impact that that will have on the society is immense. Thank you.
Would you say that your situation is a replica of many other families, whereby the man is so busy in the office, and sometimes that aspect of mentorship with the boy lacks? Would you say that is a replica of other families?
It is a replica. Mine was even more complicated because at that juncture, my wife also felt that I was not there for her. And at some point, she steps aside. And therefore, in quotes, I was a single father, bringing up two children. One is a boy and the other one is a girl. And I believe this is what is replicated in most families, yes. Yep.
The point you're bringing out is very important, being proactive. You know, like you have realized you were not there, and now you have changed that route and you're being more proactive. So I think that is something that many families can also learn from, being proactive, just making time to be there. Thank you so much for sharing your experience.
Thank you.
I just want us to go, Mark, I know Nagia Sana because of time, to go to Mr. Maria. Yourself. You're in Kariobangi parish.
Yes.
I've come to you, directly to you, because when we go for a short break, we'll be playing a clip which we recorded in 2018 of a marathon at Kariobangi.
Kariobangi South.
Kariobangi South.
Yes.
You are within a surrounding that there is Mathare, yani mchanganyiko pale.
Eastlands.
Eastlands. What is the characteristic of the boy there?
Hey, you know, Outering,
Yes.
or rather Eastlands,
Yes.
is a very difficult area. Bring up your boys in a very difficult situation.
Yes.
For example, Kuru there in Dandora, you know, is our area, all that area, and those boys they go there. They learn so many things from those Mukuru place, and even in our environment. So as you say, we are not very, we are not in the good environment as such in other, like other areas. But we still fight. We bring those boys together. Like as you say, in 2018, we had a marathon there within our parish. We involved both parents and the boys, so that to bring them together. And we also realized that the boys, they want actually to be with us, to be with the parents, because most of them, whether they have parents, both parents, they run away. They are the ones ni wanakimbia tu, au ni watu kutu wanaenda, lakini wakiona parents they are there, wanakuja, wanarudi kanisani, wanarudi kuona vile programs tunacheza nazo, mpira. We play both football for boys and girls, boys and the men, or rather the parents.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much for that. So regardless of the your surrounding iko tough sana, you've managed to have boys in the program.
Oh yes.
How many boys do you have in Kariobangi?
Like in Kariobangi South, we have 108 now. We have other parishes even beyond us, like Diwopa. Diwopa, they are doing like about 300 boys.
Wow.
And even our own deanery called, we have Umoja, Samson Uveri, they also have over 2 boys. And we are still coming up with many parishes We've talked. We're bringing up parishes to join.
Okay.
Yes.
So despite Eastlands being a challenging area, we can say we have like more than 1,000 boys.
Oh
in the
yes.
program.
Currently, well, we are being there.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Mayor. My audience, we are about to go for a short break, or we are going for a short break. We'll be watching a video of a marathon that we recorded in 2018, an activity that took place in Karibandi. Once we come back, we continue with the discussion. Please interact with us on our social media pages, that is at Caritas Nairobi on our Facebook and at Caritas Nairobi on our YouTube. We are back after this short break.
Mother nurture. Sisi tunalea, tunafanya yale malezi, lakini mwanamume wakati kijana akiwa mkubwa, kuna mambo ambayo mwanamke hawezi kuyafanya, na hapo ndipo ambapo tumeweza kuwahimiza wanaume wachukue hilo jukumu.
Father, the relationship between a father and his son is very important. And I know that only a father can make a son a hero through the relationship they have. Even if he's a hero in his own eyes, but only a father can make a son a hero. Because boys look up to their fathers.
Now, one of the things ambayo tunajifundisha kutoka mbio za leo, it is the formation of character.
Mother nurture. Sisi tunalea, tunafanya yale malezi, lakini mwanamume. Wakati kijana akiwa mkubwa, kuna mambo ambayo mwanamke hawezi kuyafanya, na hapo ndipo ambapo tumeweza kuwahimiza wanaume wachukue hilo jukumu.
Father, the relationship between a father and his son is very important. And I know that only a father can make a son a hero through the relationship they have. Even if he's a hero in his own eyes, but only a father can make a son a hero. Because boys look up to their fathers.
Now, one of the things ambayo tunajifundisha kutoka mbio za leo, it is the formation of character.
Mother nurture. Sisi tunalea, tunafanya yale malezi, lakini mwanamume, wakati kijana akiwa mkubwa, kuna mambo ambayo mwanamke hawezi kuyafanya, na hapo ndipo ambapo tumeweza kuwahimiza wanaume wachukue hilo jukumu.
Father, the relationship between a father and his son is very important. And I know that only a father can make a son a hero into the relationship they have. Even if it's a hero in his own eyes, but only a father can make a son a hero. Because boys look up to their fathers.
Now, one of the things ambayo
Facebook ni at Caritas Nairobi, YouTube at Caritas Nairobi. My name is Millie Kamau Miriam. Now, there are different aspects of the program. How do you transition? You said the program targets from 9 years all the way to 17 or 18, depending on the dynamics. But how do you transition? How do you group these kids? You know, how do they transition from that and the different aspects of the program?
Well, I would like to explain how the program is designed.
Yes.
The program takes on children or boys from age 9 to 17. And like I earlier said, we group them into two, which is ages 9 to 13 and then 14 to 17. And the activities are many. We focus on 4 areas. We do spiritual connection, where all we talk about is the importance of the boy child connecting to his maker. And we do have activities in line with that to strengthen the connection with God. And this would do with recollections, participation in mass, altar service, and those kinds of things. Then we do the cultural systems and processes, where again it's about values in the family, values in society, values as the church teaches us. And basically this is supposed to instill in them positive behavior change so that they can fit into the community. However, we do also understand that they have lots of challenges, like we earlier mentioned, and for them to be able to cope with the day-to-day challenges, we have another focus on life skills, where we have a curriculum for that. And then lastly, we do social empowerment, and social empowerment deals with every aspect of life, from violence, drugs and substance abuse, radicalization, anything that affects them. Currently, we are dealing with issues of LGBTQ. So, and is really why we are here is because within the program, we are going to have another program. So it's a program within a program, and this is on alcohol and drug abuse intervention. So we are very specific. We are going to be dealing with issues to do with alcohol, drugs, sexuality, mental health, and those kinds of things. And to help us deal with these issues even better, we have something else that we are calling character coaching. And for character coaching, we are going to have character coaching clubs to enable us follow through and follow up on the boys at a very personal level, build on character strengths, build on values that are then going to make them have more influence on the other boys and hopefully change the society as a whole. So it's a program that has many wings, has many other...
in the program.
Thank you. It's quite a tough one, and but the program deals with it in 2 dimensions.
Yes.
One is the preventive, and the other one is curative, or the treatment. I'd like to comment on the second one, curative or treatment level. We probably may not have our own facility as an archdiocese to treat those with addiction problems. But then we are working hand in hand with like-minded facilities so that they can give our boys and other clients the same kind of attention. However, we work very closely with professionals such as psychologists, psychiatrists, counselors, and we are glad that in this forum we have our very own who are in that category, starting with Kibe there, Mbosi, who is also a life skills person, and I know we have another counselor, yes, the name, Chege, yes, Jerome. Yeah, so we have several of them here, and those are the people that we are working with, hoping that we can be able to do like a first aid on those that we discover among the boys. However, I think the biggest challenge and the biggest task and responsibility as mentors in the program is the preventive. Ensuring that we can prevent as many boys as we can from getting into these vices. So these mentors seated here have done, and many others that are not in this workshop, are working across the Archdiocese of Nairobi, teaching and training the boys on how to keep away from the vices, so that at least we can see the issues going down.
Okay, thank you so much. Perhaps one of them can comment about what you have in store on that area of drug and substance abuse for the program.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you for having me. My name is Edwin Getao Kibe.
Yes.
I'm a counselor and with special interest on alcohol, drug, and substance abuse. First and foremost is to appreciate the Archdiocese of Nairobi for the good work that they are doing. The good work of capacity building, equipping mentors with skills and knowledge that they can serve the community at the grassroots. It's a good question of the drug problem in our community, and this has been confirmed by the arm of the government that is responsible for educating, which is called NACADA, National Authority for the Campaign Against Drug Abuse, where they do a lot of research. And recently, in a research that was released mid this year, it was confirmed that there is initiation of use of alcohol, use of cigarettes, tobacco products, use of prescription tablets, and also cannabis. And the most worrying is that this initiation has gone to as low as children between 6 years, and this is now where the rubber hits the tarmac, because this is the program that we are talking about, 7 to 17. I mean, 9 years to 17. You see, we should now bring this program closer. I don't know whether it is allowable, because if the initiation stage is at as low as 6 years, that means we have a problem. The statistics by NACADA shows us that alcohol is being consumed from as low as the age of 7 years, tobacco as low as 6 years, cannabis as low as 8 years, and prescription drugs as low as 8 years. That is an alarm for us. And that's why I'm congratulating the Archdiocese for the good job that they are doing. However, this is what I would pray that all other churches, all other communities embrace, building capacities for people to go and serve at the grassroots. We are told that scientifically, the best and the surest way of handling the alcohol and drug abuse problem is through drug demand reduction. By demand reduction, we are talking about stopping the early initiation. We try to educate, we equip the child, we equip that person who has not started, let them know the dangers early enough before they do it. And if that fails, then, and that's why you hear our coordinator, Marianne, is talking about the Archdiocese thinking of having a treatment facility or a rehab where we can take people who have now gone beyond, we were not able to prevent, we were not able to suppress the supply, but this person has now become a sick person. There is something I would want to address, that there is a lot of stigma surrounded by people with alcohol and drug abuse. And that's a big hindrance to treatment. That's a big hindrance. When we see them as pretenders, as criminals, then we are going to lose it. So how I wish that we can embrace that alcohol and drug abuse is a disease. And each one of us has a responsibility, individual responsibility, and also collective responsibility, like what we are seeing now the Archdiocese is doing. I applaud what we are doing, even for the mentors who have come here to gain knowledge, to acquire skills, so that they can go and serve. I'm happy that where we are seated today in this forum, we are representing more than 30 parishes. You can imagine the impact, that the ripple effect that these will have at the grassroots if we implement this program. I wish to stop at that, and also appreciate Caritas, because you're the greatest sponsors of this program. May God bless you as you keep on sponsoring such programs, because they are touching people at the grassroots. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ben, for that. And yes, as an Archdiocese, we are very much open to benchmarking with other churches to implement a similar program supporting the boys. Now, the Become Boys program is not only in Nairobi, that is Consular Westlands and Kariobangi. We are also in the outskirts of Kiambu, Kenyatta Road, for instance, Divine Mercy. What has been your experience there with the boys? What have you seen, and what would you say is that one case that you remember and you're like, indeed, this program is creating impact in the life of boys?
Thank you very much. I would like to comment and enrich what Mary Ann has mentioned on the 4 interventions of this program, especially the one on cultural practices and systems, where in Divine Mercy, Kenyatta Road, we were involved in helping the boy understand the role of man in the cultural setup. And we became practical.
Yes.
We tukaenda kuchinja mbuzi with our boys. And we took the boys through the role of a man in looking for livestock, which identifies the wealth of a man, in the role of the man in going through the slaughter, the allocation of the duties during the whole exercise. They were amused to find that men are involved even in the cooking, because when we came to preparing ugari, it is us doing that with them. And we went all the way to now sharing together. I have a grandson who is in a mentorship program. There before, I used to invite them when they came for sherehe to get involved in maybe slaughtering even chicken, and he used to run away. But after going through the program, this exercise of with the mentors, I found that the following Saturday, and we had visitors in the house, and we had the chicken in the cage. He told Guka, I can help you in this. Of course, we went and did it together. At the beginning, he was, of course, a bit scared. But after 2-3 times, now he does it on his own. The beauty about it is that I am in the committee, the security committee of the estate. And once in a while we go around to check whether what is going on. And because we told them that the role of security in the estate, in the Boma, is of a man, he started joining me in going around. And at one time we were sitting to interview a watchman, and he sat with the wazees. And the wazees were being amused. So, Nyika, you have another Madi. I told them, yes. I knew they didn't know that we have a program that we are bringing out the masculinity, the role of manhood of the man in the Boma and in the society. That's what we are doing in Kenyatta Road.
Congratulations. That is, I'm sure we have felt it. That point has really come out. I don't know, yes, you'd like to comment on the same? All right, I'd like to jump in to you, Mr. Dixon. What are some of the activities, Beacon Boys activities that you have been doing? I've heard of a marathon, I've heard of football. What are some of the activities you've been able to do at Consolata?
In Consolata, the main has been choir. And what we have started with, the men in CMA have been bringing their sons for choir practice. And now in Consolata, we also have a 1 p.m. mass that is animated by the CMA, by the men. So we do the choir, we do the mategas and everything. So our sons, we even have some of them have bought their sons suits, the blue, navy blue suits. And so in the process, we have been mentoring them, you know, they look at what their dads are doing. Yes.
Are you in the choir yourself? You have very interesting stories, by the way. Are you in the choir? If so, I think we challenge him. He's the choir master. Shall we challenge him?
He's our worship leader in the morning.
Please, tuchangamshe kidogo tusikie.
Hakuna Mungu kama wewe, hakuna Mungu kama wewe, hakuna Mungu kama wewe, ewe Mungu wangu. Hakuna Mungu kama wewe, hakuna Mungu kama wewe, hakuna Mungu kama wewe, ewe Mungu wangu.
Wow, we have men who can sing, men who are cooking, those who are moving around the Boma to ensure it is well secured. Really bring up an all-round man. Congratulations, really. Miriam, I just want to also jump to you before we now, nona mudo umetupa kisogo, before we now close. What next for the program?
Wow. I'm sure these men have more answers to that, yes. Because I think for me has been capacity building and the challenge, go ye out and do what you got to do. So maybe they can tell us, yes, from this training, from all that they have learned, what next?
Thank you very much, Millicent, for that. I think the main and the key reason why we're here is to make sure that the program is fully entrenched. We started on a very low key with just a few mentors back in 2018, but this being our second forum and the training that we are uptaking, it gives us an edge of better and far much outreach out there. I believe with 30 who are seated here, which is an addition to what we formatted last year, and those that we started the program with back in 2018 means we have a better outreach. Actually, for some reason, we were stuck at 40 parishes. I kept on even asking Marianne, what is this synonymity about SDP and Beacon Boys being stuck at 46 parishes? But all of a sudden, after COVID, that is last year, we are proud to say we are over 65 today. And I think that's a good number, isn't it, gentlemen? So we hope and we trust and believe that after today, when we meet in our next forum, may it be our AGM, which is usually twice a year, April and September, or even before we do another forum or this kind of a forum, I know will be double this number. And that is our dream. Thank you very much.
I want us to come back to Marianne. He has mentioned about SDP, the CMA, there's the Beacon Boys program. I think it will be important for the audience to understand the arrangements here, because when you talk about SDP, it's not necessarily about the Beacon Boys program, even though both are intertwined. Shed some light on that.
Thank you. The CMA, the Catholic Men Association movement in the Archdiocese of Nairobi, is extremely powerful, very strong, and we have over 28,000 men who are fully commissioned into the association. Now, out of that, the CMA has actually given birth to other children. One is the Social Development Program, which is a social economic empowerment program for the men. So this is where we have savings, credit, investment, and those kinds of economic empowerment activities. However, we also have social empowerment, where we discuss all issues affecting men, including their relationship with the sons, including things to do with family, raising a family, retirement, property, violence within the family, and those kinds of things. So under that program, we talk about money and every other social issue affecting a man. And now, because that program also discusses the sons and their relationship with their fathers, it gave birth to the Beacon Boys program. So, and it also has another baby called the Technical School, St. Joseph's Technical School in Kamulu, where we hope to offer vocational training to our sons. So, yeah, so CMA in the Archdiocese of Nairobi has grown very big and has given birth to these other babies. Yeah.
All right. My dear audience, there you have it. Beacon Boys program is a program that is being spearheaded by the Catholic Men Association. Why? For the role of mentorship. Yes, JD. What are the plans? What on a personal level, by the way, what are your plans to make this program bigger, and especially looking at your parish? Yes.
So basically the idea, I guess, that Marianne had is to start with this group of men to be trained, to be transformed, to become the leaven that is going to spearhead the program everywhere else. So in as much as we are mentor, we are also going to be trainers of trainers. So we have to go and pass the knowledge. But I believe all these men can tell you most of them have been transformed. So the ground has been set. We know what we are up against. And it's not a main feat, but we are up to task. And we have a lot of diversity and come from a very varied background, so we'll be able to do it. So back into our parishes, we have our sleeves rolled up. We'll pass the message to the rest of the men there. We know we have their support. We have the support of the archdiocese, that is starting from the ordinary, and then his predecessor. So definitely we have work to be done. The boys are waiting for us. They're looking for mentors and for people who have their best interest at heart. So definitely the future looks exciting, and there's work to be done. And yeah, these men have no illusions. And the beauty is that this is personal, you know. So I have 2 sons and 2 girls. So my sons need to be men, and my daughters need to get good husbands. So I have skin in the game. So definitely this is personal. Let's put it that way, you know. And I'm sure for everybody else. So this has to work. So thank you very much.
I love the energy. I want to welcome the audience now. Yes, Dixon.
Thank you. So for the first thing, maybe I would want to also communicate to the viewers. There's been a misconception about Beacon Boys, that it's a group or it's we are going to steal the PMC. But I would want to clarify, being a program, the meaning of programs in the dictionary is a group of activities aimed towards a certain objective. So for Beacon Boy, our objective is to have activities that can aimed at creating a responsible man. So I hope those people who are going through problems in parishes, this is not a group which has been formed, but a program that we want to have activities that can help the boy become a responsible man. So for Consolata, what we have planned on November 18th, we are going to Karura together with the boys and their parents and the men. And it is through those activities that we want to ensure that we mentor our young boys. So for me also, there's a lot at stake. I have a young boy and a daughter, and hey, kazi chapwe ama vipi?
It is personal.
It is personal. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that clarity. That was very, very important. Now, I'm throwing the ball now to the audience. And my question is this: what is that one story you remember, remarkable story you remember of a boy who has been transformed? Yes. Mike, we have one here. Then you can have Mr. Sydney Afande say something to us after this.
My name is Jeremiah Mumo from St. Michael's Parish, Langata, Otiende. I wouldn't talk of a boy that has been transformed, but boys who have been transformed. We come from different backgrounds, and you notice that there are boys whose parents already have an activity in the afternoon from 12 onwards. You're meeting the boys and the parent is like, time, we need to go to Java and all that kind of the thing. But we have children who come from the slums who may not have such a privilege. So I happen to work with a community-based organization in Kibera, and being a mentor in my parish, I thought, why is it that I'm mentoring children in the parish and I'm still a parent by extension for these boys, and I'm not giving the same service to them? So one day I invited the boys. I told them, now one of the requirements for you to keep getting served here is attending a church. You don't need to attend my church. You can attend your church, but give me a report in the evening. And then they asked me, teacher, why don't we attend your church? And I told them, okay, do you know where my church is? Yes, we know. We've been coming there. Then I said, okay, go attend the church, and after that we have a Beacon Boys program. So we spoke, and the boys told me, teacher, sisi tutakuwa tunakuja hii kanisa. We will be coming in this church. Why? Because some of us, two of the boys have their moms who are the parents, and they're into alcohol, very serious. One of the boys had been dumped when he was young. His story, when I wrote it, alizaliwa na akatupwa. So he did hate women and girls. So when we enrolled him, alikuwa anapiga wasichana, and we were wondering, why is he fighting the girls? So when we followed up, the grandmother told us, huyu kijana mama yake alimzaa na akafanya nini? Akamtupa. So we started civilizing, in quotes, this boy. So today as we speak, the boys, there are like 6 boys whom we got into our Beacon Boys from the Kibera slums. We conduct an outreach program. Ours has become an evangelization. So tukimaliza Beacon yetu, saa 8 sisi tunaenda Kibera kutafuta wengine. And that to me is the transformation. Because hao wengine wenye tuko hii class ingine tumebarikiwa, the work is easy. I make the announcement. Now we have been given skills on character coaching. Then they will see a character coach. Hey, let me take my boy there. But the poor boy in Kibera may not have that opportunity to know what it is. So for me, I feel it is an opportunity for us to evangelize through the Beacon Boys. Thank you.
Sydney Afande has something to tell us.
God is good, and all the time. One for me, I just love to thank Caritas. Thank you, Millicent, Marianne, Anthony, JD, and Dixon, and everyone else who's here. I'd first love to just start with a quote by President Roosevelt, our USA. So this is what he says. We cannot always build the future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. And for me, Beacon Boys clearly explains that. The idea for us is to address the issues to begin with, to give our boys, our young men, those tools and equip them to be able to be competent for the future they're going to face. Hence the reason why personally I chose to be a mentor. There are other structures within our institution, with the Shrine of Mary Help of Christians Don Bosco, and we have a number of boy mentorship programs, which I personally am involved in. Problem is you come to realize that some of these men who come into this part of the programs in future have been dealing with issues ever since they were young. So the idea for us is also to have that preventive kind of approach. The same thing we're talking about drugs. So as we were speaking, I was just going back and remembering about COVID-19, where the idea was to flatten the curve. You know, there's so many issues which we can arrest at the source, as opposed to trying to deal with these issues in the future. Because at the moment, there's so much strain in terms of how many things are we going to put in place to be able to curb or to heal the brokenness within society, and most in terms of the male figure. You know, so the idea for us is to flatten that curve. As Kibe was mentioning, is it even possible for us to go below? You know, because we're seeing certain issues are actually coming up when these young boys are at the age of 6. So what can we do? So for me, I say from a personal take, is to equip these young boys with the capacity to build a future for themselves, a future that has been well defined. As a Christian, I believe in godly vision. You know, godly values, then again, to just say this is who a man is. What is your identity? Because there are a number of issues we have in society at the moment. And for me, it all begins with understanding who do you belong to? Who are you? So how we choose to tackle our issues within the Shrine of Mary, Help of Christians, Don Bosco, Hill, is to first fully form this individual to understand their persona within the Christian foundations, within godly values. And I do believe once we are able to do that, we will not be scared for these men to grow up, because we understand their thinking, their formation is in godly values. So whether we are there or not, they will be able to act and choose and make better choices. So in the business field, it is called having an exit or a sustainability approach to life. So when I exit, how am I going to leave this world? I am going to leave it to these young boys. And they have to do that which they have been called upon, to begin with the same way as Adam was given instructions in the Garden of Eden. You are a steward of this world, and you are supposed to bring it to fruition. But fruition in terms of what the Word of God implies. So that is for me. Thank you so much. Truly appreciate it. God bless.
Wow, my goodness, Marianne, this is a capable team, ready to deliver a transformed, responsible man to the society. Wow, amazing. Now this side, upande huu, jamani tumenyamaza sana. Bossy, I'm coming to you. You are the mic giver, now you'll be the mic user. I'm coming to you. This side of from my right side, a volunteer to tell us your experience within the program and what it means to you at a personal level. Here? Yes, we have one here and then we'll come to you.
God is good.
All the time.
All the time.
God is good.
My name is Sacred Heart Timitu, which is in Waithaka Parish. This is my first time to attend this forum after a forum that was held at Basilica. So why I needed to have an audience on board is to know that there are parishes like ours that have actually not come on board yet. We do not have members as yet. We are very new. I'm not the only one here who doesn't have, who actually doesn't have members. So we are launching now. And as you can see from my compatriots, this is the absolutely right forum to have happened for anybody who has not come on board. Therefore, for the audience, I wanted to encourage anyone who's having cold feet to learn from the panel and the rest of the speakers before me who have shared what they've experienced, in that there is nothing to fear. The benefits that you expect is a huge windfall of boys becoming men of integrity. Boys coming from nowhere, like in Kibera, and joining the Beacon Boys program and the church, and eventually to be leaders in CMA. So in Waithaka Parish, Secretariat Ruth Imito, we are going to launch now, very soon in the future. We are going to require help from the already established parishes and members that are seated here with me today. And this gives me joy to know that in a short while, next time you're going to ask from experienced users, we are going to be some of the success stories that you're going to be reading about. And thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Thank you so much. And yes, they've heard you. You will definitely receive a lot of support. At the corner there, we had someone. And then the mic giver. Next is you.
Thank you for the chance. My name is Francis Mbosi. I'm a trainer, and especially in life skills. So I want to point out that I'm here to represent my parish, which is St. Joseph's Kaskari, as a mentor for Beacon Boys. So Marianne pointed out that this program has many structures, and one of the structure is life skills, where I want to base my discussion. That this boy child that we are talking about is life skills that we really want to impact to this young boy so that he become a true man. Speaking of it, all of us here, or many of us here, have gone to an interview. Values, not able to solve problems. Sometimes I discuss with students in colleges and universities, and I find there are so many suicidal cases, and these mostly are based on rejection. Just because a lady rejected you and you feel you can't take it. Because as a young man, you are brought up, you are told that a man should not cry. So they suppress the emotions. So the moment they suppress the emotion, it gets to a point that it bursts. And that's why the moment you find a young man, we go for drugs so that they can't take it. Every time they are somewhere, they feel bullied because they always feel like they're feeling like they're always sad. These are some of the things as mentors we want to bring on board to help this young boy become a true man in the society. And also, because most of us, we are fathers, a young man, or this young boy become a true man through spiritual life, through life skills, and also even who say that a man should not cook. Actually, we should be helping at home most of the time, so that this young man realized that you need to know how to survive. When you are alone at home, will you sit and say, I will not eat because my parents or my mom is not here or my sister is not there? So this is why we are here as mentors. We are going to really bring all this that we are discussing on the ground and really take this young boy to become a wholesome man, and take them through all aspects of life. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for your comment. Bwana Kizito, very briefly, you can tell us what your experience has been working with boys, and also at the back of the Beacon Boys program manual. By the way, Marianne, this is a book I think you need to mention briefly, please.
Yeah, for our curriculum, we do have a manual that acts as our guide. When we go for our sessions, we have a curriculum, we have topics that are in this manual. However, we always insist that every topic goes with an extracurricular activity. So you'll find that in the program we have all sorts of activities, starting with sports, music, cultural events, Bible trivia, tug of war, marathon, nature trails, hikes, and all those kinds of activities. But all of them come from the topics from the manual, because every activity is a lesson in life. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Yes, Bwana Kizito, your experience briefly. And at the back of the Beacon Boys program manual, there is a Beacon Boys pledge. Please, you can lead the men in reading out this pledge, and then we will conclude this session with Bwana Anthony here to make a call to those parishes that have yet to join the program, and also the CMA slogan, the Beacon Boys slogan. Yes, Bwana Kizito.
Thank you so much. I appreciate Millicent.
Thank you.
And much appreciation to this program, especially to the Mary Ann and the rest of the team. Much appreciation to the facilitators, Bwana Kibe, I call him Doc, and also Catherine, sister, maybe just. And I will say one or two. My name from Holy Innocent Stasia. This is the experience that I go through, or I have. First, I see a very bright future of these boys, especially through this program. It has nurtured me, myself, as well as the boys, because I connect with them. And the boys, first, they take responsibilities, because whatever we do, they are the ones who initiates the program or the process. For example, we have activities in them out for charity. They are the ones who do it. That means it is a responsibility we are initiating into them. And to me, through this program, especially the training today or the workshop, I've learned a lot on the character development, on how to deal with the drug, let's say the abuse of substance, the drug, as well as the mental health, because this is what is really affecting us, as even the parents, as well as the boys, and even the society at large. Okay. So this program, as much as the Beacon Boys program, we started recently through Mr. Gatonga, who came and also assisted us on how to handle it. It really gives us a drive that we need to do something in the boys. Especially through the family. We have challenges at the family, like those who have shared about the single parenthood, about the challenges in the society, the peer pressure.
Yes.
Yeah, we have religious effect whereby even the Muslims are converted to our place. Even the other Protestants, let's say the separated brothers, that's what we call them. They are also in us because the program is just at large. So we help us with the help of the Mary Ann and the team.
Yes.
I know we are going to do something to create credibility in the children.
Okay,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Abona Kizito, for that. We are almost winding up, but before that, kindly lead the men with the Beacon Boys program pledge. It's behind your books. It's important for our audience to know that hapa sio hapa mpaka tuko na pledge na pia tuko na slogan, eh?
Yeah. Are we ready?
Yes.
I am a beacon boy of light and a beacon boy of hope. I pledge obedience to Almighty God, my family and my society. I commit to serve mankind, guided by the need to help and respect others. I pledge my commitment to hard work in school, at home, and in my community. I will strive to protect, care, and save nature for tomorrow. I am a conqueror who will not give up, for I am a soldier, strong and brave. I make allegiance to take an active part in the Beacon Boys program. I will stand up strong for myself, my family, and my country. So help me God. Thank you.
Wow. Bona Anthony.
Thank you very much, Millicent. I think we are also energized, are we? And the team that has hosted us today wish to thank everybody for your participation, starting with the people. So just to remind you, and for those who are new with us today, I think we normally say Beacon Boys, soldiers of Christ, Beacon Boys, our future, and then Beacon Boys. Oh yeah. And when we say oh yeah, it should be very, very strong. Yeah. So we go Beacon Boys,
soldiers of Christ,
Beacon Boys,
our future,
Beacon Boys.
Oh yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you so much, our online audience, for taking time to, tune in and watch the program. You asked a question at the beginning of the program, if we do have an International Men's Day. Yes, we do. Boy child. Yes. It is there, yes? What date is it? It's
There's a boy child day, actually.
There's a boy child's day. It's usually observed on the 19th of November. Yes, next month. Yes, and this was launched by one Dr. Jerome. He felt that the boy child has issues, and that is why he came up with that idea. I do believe our program will have an activity for that particular day. Now, if you'd like to know more about the program, if you'd like to join the program, if you're yet to join the Beacon Boys program, these are the contacts for more information. That is 0726 056 763. That is 0726 056 763. Alternatively, you can visit the Caritas Nairobi offices, 7th floor, Cardinal Otunga Plaza. This has been the Caritas Nairobi Hour Show with me, Millie Kamo. Until next time, God bless you. Wow.
I am a beacon boy, a beacon of light and a beacon of hope.
I pledge obedience to Almighty God, my family and my society.
Who are you? Beacon boys! Who are you?
A saying goes that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And the first step in the Beacon Boys program was taken 3 years ago. And the impact of that step is being felt all over the Archdiocese of Nairobi. Lives are being changed, and boys are maturing up and becoming men, while men are manning up and taking responsibility. Eric Nganga is one among many boys who the Beacon Boys project has transformed. He now shares his story with us.
Na timu honaku nie Beacon Boys ni ndeithĩtie tondũ nginya aciari ndirathikagira na rĩu nĩ nyambĩtie kũmathikĩra ndatũmwo kĩndũ ndiragĩraga na rĩu nĩ ndĩragĩra ĩno umithio mũnene ona kanitha ndirathiaga na rĩu nĩ nyambĩtie gũthiĩ rĩu nĩ ndĩtigĩrĩte Mwathani.
Ndikiuga ũhoro wa Beacon Boys nĩ mũteithĩtie mũno kau nĩ arĩ na wana rĩu erwo ũndũ akaiga ũũ karĩo nĩ ndĩrerwo no rĩu nĩ ndĩrona nĩ athiĩte agimarĩte wamwĩra ũndũ ndaracokia rĩu niĩ nĩ ndĩrona hena change cukuru nĩ ndarapabomaga wega kuma ta 7 ũguo gũka 8 kĩanjĩrĩria-inĩ no rĩu nĩ ndĩrona nĩ akinya 250-inĩ na ndarakinyagia.
Eric is not alone. Many boys under the program have stories of positive change.
Wanaenda na chapa watu wanakijiji wananijua, walikuwa wananijua mimi ni mbaya, nilikuwa naiba vitu, lakini saa hii wameanza kunitrust. Hadi mapema wako wananituma duka, saa hii wananituma. Hadi wazazi wangu walikuwa wanaekelea pesa hapo nachukua, lakini saa hii wanaachaka hapo na sichukui. Beacon Boys imetusaidia sana.
Beacon Boys curriculum has an emphasis on 4 main pillars: spiritual, cultural, life skills, and social empowerment. The curriculum gets us in running the program.
We started this program after being brought to it by way of introduction in January when we came to Tunga, and then we were taught on how to do it. Then, without much ado, on Tuesday, we were able to kick off and we did a good introduction on it, so that what followed was, according to the curriculum, we did something on spirituality. And then during the month of April, we had this great chance whereby we went to Muthaiga Primary School and we had a great team building day where the boys were taught on discipline, and they were also taught on hygiene, and also we had a very great Bible trivia and some exercises on our catechism. We've gone on with our curriculum and we touched other areas such as the social life, and significantly we've also learned about our culture.
I learned about Beacon Boys last year when I took the commissioning classes, and I felt it was a good incentive especially to inspire our young boys, because actually the boys have actually been neglected for quite a while, because we took too much effort on encouraging the girl child and we forgot the boy child. So I was interested, and I encouraged my boys to join Beacon Boys. As a parent of the 2 boys, I brought the boys in the first program where we went to Karura for a day out. We had a hike, we had a walk in the Karura forest, and we shared a meal together with the boys, and it was very encouraging to my boys because we also had a very good activity with them, which to them they felt it was good dad-son relationship.
When we went to Karura, people were scared of the animals, but the animals weren't dangerous. They didn't have the big 5. So as we went in the forest, people were very happy and they wanted to explore more, but we didn't explore the whole forest. CMA came with Beacon Boy. Their parents were in CMA, some of the Beacon Boy children. When we are in Beacon Boy, it improves our relationship with our father, and it helps children to be mature.
Sisi kama viongozi wa CMA tunajaribu kuhimiza wale wote ambao ni wa CMA hapa Dono, hasa hivi karibuni ambao tumecommission wanaume 8. Tunajaribu sana kuleta watoto wao pamoja, na hii jukumu tunaona kama inafanya kazi vizuri, sababu watoto wetu wamekaa pamoja. Kuna vitu mingi tunawafundisha ambao wanaona kwamba kweli wazazi wameshikana pamoja na watoto pia sasa wameanza kushikana. Classes pia zimekuwa vizuri kutokana na nzuri. Tumefanya mipango ya kukaa na watoto pamoja. Tunawatembelea kama executive wakati wote wako na class, tunazungumza nao. Tunajaribu kuwaelezea kiini cha kuwa responsible, kuwa na namna ya kukaa vizuri katika wanaume wao na katika kukaa pamoja na wazazi wao na heshima. Wakijaribu kuiga mfano ya CMA, baadhi yetu wengi sana watoto ambao wanakuja kwa CMA na wazazi wao si wa CMA, wengine wamefanya wazazi wao wakawa CMA.
Throughout the year, there have been many activities across the parishes for the Beacon Boys, from hikes to marathons to team building activities, mentorship talks and many more, all geared to one thing: the holistic growth of the sons of God.
Mungu amesema, if you go to a new land na upate kuna miti, don't cut all the trees, don't destroy the trees. If you have a river, usiharibu hii maji, na unajua hii maji inatumiwa na watu wengine kule chini kukunywa. God will not look kindly at you, and we would want for you to grow up to do a better job kuliko vile sisi ambao ni wazee wenu na mababa zenu tumefanya, protecting the environment of this country. Sawa.
The Beacon Boys activities were topped by hiking to Ngong Hills on 30th November 2019, where more than 300 boys and men participated.
You gotta learn to do the right thing. I want to say two things because I can see some of you have started getting tired. As far as you have come, and as far as we are going, I want you to understand that life is not a bed of roses.
One thing to note is that the Beacon Boys program is for all boys from our families. The men in the program accompany boys whether or not they are their biological sons.
Boys from the single parents are not bad. All that they are lacking is mentorship from the men. And it's not even that the problem is with even the single parents. Even children from full families, men have abdicated their responsibility because they're supposed to be bringing up. So you find the woman is left alone to bring up, and that's why even the behavior of them are almost similar. So we are encouraging men to be able to play their role as men, as fathers, and be able to be emulated by for the children, because their behavior is what they copy. So they be good, the children will be very, very, very active and very good. So that's all about it. We men should lead by example, because in the culture, man is always the number one. So we should not be number two. Play the number two, the figure, the role of bringing the boys. We should be able to be having, and not even in the old ages, men, the boys we are going with their old men and be given culture devices. So that's why also in the night now, we the men, mostly the CMA, should lead and be able to assist in their fellow children around and make sure that the family will have a future family and a better family as we encourage them.
Amenipatia challenge kubwa